Hello. Today we will be talking about macros in Excel. First, you need to know what a macro is and what it can do. Macros are sets of procedures that you record, then when you want to repeat the procedure, you can simply run your macro. This is useful for automating time-consuming tasks or tasks that you will frequently repeat. First, I'll show you where to find your macros in Excel. When you go to the View tab, there's a macros section, and if you click the drop-down menu, there's an option to view your macros or record a new macro. When you click View Macros, a new box opens up with a list of all the macros currently in your workbook in it. I made a simple macro that when it runs, it will create a simple table in the top left portion of my current workbook. So if I click Run, you'll see that a table appears up here. Next, I'll tell you how to make your own macros. So first, I'll make a new sheet so that I don't have to use the same one. And then I go into the macros drop-down menu and hit Record Macro. In this new box, you'll see some options. First of all is the macro name. I'll name mine Test Macro 2. Then next, there's the shortcut key, which is the key combination to run this macro if you want to have one. I'm going to make mine Control T. Then you'll see where the macro is stored, which is either the personal macro workbook, this workbook, or a new workbook. Unless you want your macro to transfer with the workbook, I suggest saving your macros into the personal macro workbook, as this will be available in all the workbooks that you create. Finally, you have your description. I'm just going to write what mine does. And now I'm ready to start recording. So once I hit OK, my macro will begin recording. And this will be obvious because this square appears in the bottom left that says it is currently recording. And now everything that I do in Excel will be a recorded part of my macro. So I'll just make a new macro that creates the same simple table. And now that my table is created, when I hit this stop button, the macro will be done. Now if I go back into the macros menu and view my macros, you'll see that a new one has appeared. If I run this macro, then another table will appear. So let me create a new sheet and then show you what that looks like. Assuming I did it correctly, it should look very similar to the first one, and it does. Obviously, this is a very simple macro, but any other thing that I wish to do with this table, I could have done while I made it. So if I wanted to put the date into this table, I could format my cells, add the date, and then that would have been a part of my macro. The usefulness of macros is limited only by your imagination and what you wish for them to do. Anything that you do in Excel while you create your macro will also be included when you run your macro. That wraps up a simple tutorial on macros. Thank you for watching.